Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. Another fresh out of the shower video. Let's dive in, and as we always do when a new fusion goes live, I'm going to guide you through. We've got a Photoshop document ready to go. I'm going to guide you through the different steps to completing this fusion, what stuff to look out for. Yeah, because I think there's some pretty nasty stuff in this one. Looking at this here, I think it's going to be pretty hard, is my initial thought. Actually very difficult, and I'll show you why. Obviously, you can see this stuff in game. I think you click the details button, it will bring it up. I got the image off of Discord, right? You can find it on my Discord channel as well. Link down below. You'll find all the official raid announcements are over there. So you can, find it there. If you like these videos as well, also while you're down there, click subscribe. Hey, like, subscribe, all that's, all that fun stuff. Right, let's talk about this. And also, we have as well, which I'll talk about at the end, we do have a champion training tournament for Oella's partner in crime who wants to load Ultan of the Shell, who is actually a Dark Elf. He was in the wrong faction on the test server. He's actually a Dark Elf. Yeah, you can see this, my tournament bracket's already going pretty crazy. He's a brand new champion. We'll talk about it more at the end, right? Let's look at the calendar. Here we go. So, do we have the right brush? We do have the right brush. Excellent. Let's dive in. So, let's actually start with the bad news first. I think there's some very bad news first. The part that's not so bad, we obviously have 2x Void Shards. That's going to be happening this weekend. And we're going to have a Champion Chase tournament with that. There's one rare up for grabs in the Champion Chase tournament. By the way, just to clarify, you do need 4 copies of each of the rare to fuse 4 copies of the epic. So you need all 16 rares. There's only 16 up for grabs. That's it. There's 16 up for grabs. You have to get every single one. This is 2x voids. Probably you're going to most likely, I think, need something like 20 voids, maybe 25, something like that. Let's say 20 void shards, roughly speaking. Of course, because it's a champion chase, you can supplement that with any fragment summons. You can supplement it by fusing Broadmaws or fusing Relic Keepers or whatever. Any fusions that you've got, any fragments that you've got hanging around, any login champions that you get, anything like that. All that stuff will help you with this. So, yeah, that helps. And of course, just opening mystery shards, getting champions from campaign drops as well. All that stuff will add up and will help. I would say roughly about 20 void shards to be safe. You might need less than that, depending. You might need slightly more. I think it's a bit unlikely. I think this shouldn't be too bad for most people. Even if you're going into it with 10 or 15 voids, at least the good news is this is pretty early on. You'll be able to tell pretty early on if you can do this or not. The bad news is this right here. We have not 1, but 2 rares from Summon Rush. This to me is a massive warning sign, guys. I think it is not impossible that they could do the first one for 4 Sacred Shards worth. And they could do the second one for like 8 Sacred Shards worth. I think that's possible. Obviously, the reasonable thing to do if you were designing the game to be nice to people and to be a fun game, you'd be having it be like maybe 1 Sacred Shard worth for the first rare and maybe 3 or 4 for the second. And like that's pretty intensive as it is. But yeah, I do think that this could be very intensive. Let's put in the warning. Let's say 8 Sacreds worth, maybe. I think the nasty thing about this is void shards are very helpful for Summon Rush, but of course, you're very likely, for most people, to have to use your void shards for the Champion Chase tournament. So you're going to be relying on this Summon Rush. It's going to be really tough. I think it's going to be really tough. You could need up to 8 Sacreds. I mean, it could always be lower. It could be higher. We've no way of knowing. Typically speaking, what they've done in the past is put this at like about 4 Sacreds has been standard, so I'm expecting it to be double for 2 rares. All you can do is cross your fingers, and the tough thing is, guys, that this isn't until a week in. So you might get this far in, have done all these events, and then go, oh, yeah, it's 8 Sacreds. I can't do that. So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you have any strategies for getting around this? You could, I suppose, just pull an absolute ton of mystery shards if you need to, but it's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. good news is that that's most of the bad news out of the way. Apart from that, it's relatively straightforward. So we have ice golems happening right now, and that does overlap with a dungeon diver event. So I think these two line up very nicely, and then that actually transitions over into Fire Night at the end, which is pretty cool. So I would be putting it something like this, right? So you can get your Ice Golem tournament done pretty quickly. You don't need to finish Dungeon Divers. You can finish Dungeon Divers probably on Sunday. Depends on your time zone. Like for me, in Ireland, Dungeon Divers and Fire Night will both be up probably around like 9 or 10 a.m. on Sunday, but they'll probably end at around 9 or 10 a.m. on Monday. So I'd have to do this on Sunday. You can finish off Dungeon Divers with this Fire Night, which makes it, I think, fairly straightforward. Fire Night, there's really, as you can see, nothing else happening. So blast through some Fire Night pretty quickly if you need those Dungeon Diver points, and then just take it chill. Save your energy. Save your energy pots. Save your gems. It moves into a more intensive part then. We got Spider Tournament starts off. And again, this one is not too bad. It doesn't overlap with anything, unfortunately, in terms of Dungeon Divers. What is bad news is that we've got then a champion training event at the same time. That could be a bit more intensive. What you could certainly do is you can come in and you can level up your rares that you've gotten and make the epics and level up those epics. You can do that for this champion training event and get some juice out of it. It's also something you can do at the end here with this other champion training event. You could level them all up at the end and save that for the end. Kind of up to you. I'd sort of advise leveling up the rares, and then you could power level the epics with brews for the champ training event at the end. But leveling up the rares here, kind of a cool thing to do. This is going to be a bit energy intensive. You're going to have Spider and champ training at the same time. Of course, with Spider, you can cheese Spider. It's a bug that they've never fixed, and looks like they never will. But stage 10 of Spider actually drops more accessories than it should. There's like an error in the maths table, in the drop tables or something. So for your energy, it's actually decent points towards Spider tournaments. So you can do stage 10 if you can't do a higher stage. Get through it pretty quick. Champion training, I'd say, again, getting through that pretty quick. And yeah, then we've got another intensive burst at the end where you come in and you've got a dragon tournament. And that dragon tournament is going to overlap with a double Dungeon Divers. Okay, so double Dungeon Divers right here. I think this is likely to be, again, pretty intensive. And then I'd be swapping over here for this champion training event, and I'd be doing this at the end. It's quite a long champion training event. They're both reasonably long, so... Well, sorry, they're not that long, actually. They're medium. They're medium champ training, so there could be some grind involved, but you can do some Dungeon Divers with champ training as well. You can grind out some in campaign. I'd be saying go pretty hard in the Dragon Tournament. You're going to likely overmax the Dragon Tournament to get this Dungeon Divers done. This is, I think, the other big danger spot right here. This is a very big Dungeon Divers with 2 rares. You're going to need a lot of points, and the only way to do Dungeon Divers is to grind like crazy. So I just be, putting all my multi-battles into Dragon every day, even when you're done the Dragon Tournament, probably, to get Dungeon Divers done. Like I said, campaign will get you a bit more done here at the end, or if you've got like fancy dungeon teams where you can farm with food, you can do that as well to help out. But I think it's going to be pretty intensive burst at the end. That's quite a big energy investment, right? All that leveling, all that dungeon and campaign running, that's a lot of energy. So watch out for that. And then also, of course, straightforward stuff. We've got 2 classic arena takedowns. These are very easy. Just do classic arena, get it done. If you're in bronze, maybe silver, you might need to spend some extra gems. If you're really having a tough time, the best thing you can do is just, jump on every 15 minutes, hit refresh, look for easy teams, put in a one-man level 1, put in one of these rares as your defense so you drop down and get easier fights, that sort of stuff. We do have 2 artifact enhancement tournaments. I really don't think that these should be that hard. Yeah, there's only 2 of them this time around. It should be pretty straightforward. I'd say just watch out for the second one. The first one should be pretty easy. You should have stuff saved up, and you're going to get silver from Ice Golem anyway. That should be pretty straightforward. You should have saved. I'd say just make sure to save up plenty for this artifact enhancement event, especially if you do want to be spending silver and brews to power level champs for this champion training event, because that's silver intensive as well. So just make sure you've got enough for that. But I mean, it really shouldn't be bad. So there you go. That is the overview of the event. We should have as well, I believe. Let me see. Let's put it in. I don't know. Let's put it in green. We should have CVC right here. So CVC should be right there. Not much happening with that one, to be honest. I mean, Spider's going to kick off during CVC. Fire Knight will overlap. But yeah, so CVC is just kind of going to be there. I don't think there's anything too much to say about that. Nothing really happening. And again, with the shard situation, there could be a big summon event for the CVC. They could put in a really good base 10x event. Just be aware if you're going for the fusion, don't get sucked in by a 10x event, waste all your shards, and get caught out by Summon Rush. But broadly speaking, I think energy-wise, this doesn't look too bad. Energy-wise, it's fairly okay. You know, there's a little bit of intensiveness energy-wise here. I think there's quite a lot of energy down here. Like, this would be my big warning. Is this Dungeon Divers? Looks pretty nasty. But the main thing for me is this Summon Rush. This Summon Rush looks crazy bad. So, whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, you get the idea. Like, what is going on here? I don't know. More exclamation marks, but watch out. That is a thing that could trip you up. And yeah, that's it. I think that basically covers everything. Worth noting, I do have a showcase of Maruka over here. I did one with YST. If you want to see the epic, there is no extra epic up for grabs. I think it's pretty straightforward. You'll see when you watch my showcase. There's interesting stuff about the champion, but she's not crazy. I think she's mostly going to help you in Faction Wars, and then we'll see. Well, I showed some interesting stuff, I think, in the showcase, and we'll see if anyone can build on that and if anything comes of it. But I don't think you're going to be too worried about not having an extra copy up for grabs. And when I initially recorded, I forgot to add in my thoughts on this tournament, so let's do that now. Here we go. So what do I think about this champion training tournament that we have live as well? Pretty intensive, guys. It's a 5-day tournament, and of course, that is going to be going through all of this energy intensive stuff. So I think for most people, this is going to be extremely hard. As you can see in my tournament, people are already going very hard for it. I think that's a good strategy, is to like really pump your resources into day one of these champ training tournaments to intimidate other people. But like, people will still go for it and they'll try to push at the end. So you do need to keep grinding. I think these tend to be extremely intensive. You're going to be going up against, you know, whales, people that can spend money, or people who've got loads of resources. They might not have paid anything, but they've just got lots and lots and lots of stuff saved up. They've got basically infinite gems saved up. They've been saving all their energy, and they're just waiting. It's the Pokemon thing, right? It's like, yo, it's a new legendary. I want to go get him. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's an interesting question in terms of the effort for getting this champion training tournament done versus the effort of a fusion. It's like, this is much more intensive over 5 days, but walk away with a new legendary versus a fusion, which is kind of like more moderate intensity, but still pretty intensive, but more moderate than this, spread over 2 weeks. Get a legendary out of it. It's not the worst in that sense, but you can easily go in, sink a bunch of resources, and lose. So I think for most people, this is something you'd skip. I'm very on the fence about Ultin of the Shell. He's in Dark Elf, so he's not a Sylvan Watcher. I have not tested him yet. I think I saw some content creators kind of like him. I thought that he seemed pretty bad, but check out their videos. I've not tested him yet, so I can't give you good guidance. I will try to get an Ultin of the Shell video out soon, but realistically, you got to be going for this tournament like already if you want to get him, and I can't get you advice on that quickly enough. It's just not possible, sadly. But I didn't think he looked all that good, so take that as you will. I'm basically going to be, while I'm testing out Hydra stuff, I'm probably going to watch some other content creators and see what they thought of him, so I can give you like an updated view on this quickly if needs be. But yeah, my thoughts are that this tournament is going to be pretty tough because it's a new champion. People are going to go hard for a new champion because it's fun, so watch out for it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one, but let me know what you think. Anyway, guys, there you go. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. Yeah, there you go. That's the fusion. That's what I'd be thinking. That's what I think about the tournament as well. I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.